Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Southern Rounds here on a Wednesday night. My name is Dave Kennedy. I'll be your host for the evening. We have an incredible group of songwriters here for you tonight. I can't wait to start introducing them, but real quickly, let's get a little housekeeping out of the way. Southern Rounds was born out of the notion that we ought to take the Nashville Songwriters Round on the road. We played this show at festivals over the last few years, and we had every intention of taking it out to theaters and to honky-tonks around the country this past year. And like many other things, when COVID hit, we had to pivot on that idea. And so what we did was we created this platform to bring some of our friends, some people that we're fans of, and some really incredible artists and songwriters, not only to your town, but into your living rooms, into your bedrooms, into your homes, so that you can check out exactly what it is that we have to offer here. So all that said, tonight is maybe more so than any other night that we've had on Southern Rounds thus far. Tonight is hit night, y'all. We have three just absolutely monster, incredible songwriters. You're going to hear songs tonight that you've heard on the radio many, many times. We've got award winners. We've got all kinds of folks in here. And starting us off right now, my friend from the panhandle of Texas, Mr. Bobby Pinson. How you doing tonight, brother? That's...
Woohoo! Doing great, man. I know you say that every week.
I say it every week except for when I'm playing.
Saying it for us, too, and not skipping it. Thanks for... Right, there you go. Hey, man, if I could sing
buddy,
as good as you, I wouldn't.
I'm trying to work on it with you at some point in time. But I'd love to hear a song, man. I'd love you to just start us off right out of the gate with something great, buddy.
I will, man. Well, I don't know if it's great, but it felt great when it went down. I wrote this song with a guy named Luke Dick, and that's Luke Dick. You can't say that, with a bunch of bears, but great guy. Better guy than the name, but just the two of us. We wrote a good old-fashioned two-way, and in the day and age where you got 4 and 5 guys on a song, it was refreshing to just get two guys that are pretty like-minded and come up with a cool idea, and we're fortunate to have this with Dierks Bentley, and it's called Burning Man. Half your life you struggle, half your life you fly, half your life making trouble, half your life making it right. One day I'm the exception, yeah, most days I'm just like most. Some days I'm headed in the right direction, some days I ain't even close. Little steady, but still a little bit rolling stone. I'm a little bit heaven, but still a little bit flesh and bone. Little found, little don't know where I am. I'm a little bit holy water, still a little burning man. Burning man. I always love the highway, I just don't run it as fast. I still go where the wind blows me, but I always find my way back. I still don't get it right sometimes, I just don't get it as wrong. I still go out in the night sometimes, I just don't stay near as long. Little steady, but still a little bit rolling stone. I'm a little bit heaven, but still a little bit flesh and bone. Little found, little don't know where I am. I'm a little bit holy water, still a little burning man. Burning man. I'm just a burning man. Just a burning man. I'm just a burning man. Just a burning man. Maybe we'll go to the desert, find ourselves in a Joshua tree. If we pass in the night, won't you hand steady, but still a little bit rolling stone. I'm a little bit heaven, but still a little bit flesh and bone. Little found, little don't know where I am. I'm a little bit holy water, but still a little burning man. Burning man, yeah. I'm just a burning man. Just a burning man. I'm just a burning man. Just a burning man. I'm just a burning man. Just a burning man.
Once again, y'all, that's Mr. Bobby Pinson right there. Man, that's a great song.
Thank you. And the crowd goes
man,
wild.
Bobby is you know, I'm trying to sit here and think. I've known you for 8 or 10 years now, at least now. I'm proud of about 5 of them that I've known you for, but I've definitely known you for a little while.
Right.
Man,
I remember
Bobby's a
3
guy
of them.
that,
Was the most recent ones.
despite all his success, he still comes and I've played the same rounds with him at the Revival and at the Blue Bar and all kinds of places, and it really means the world to guys like me who are still trying to work their way in that you'll still come down and associate with a little bit with his brother. I always appreciate that.
Well, man, thank you for having me. And you know, it's about music, and music is a language that speaks itself. And I love playing songs. And you know, I was an artist for I say a long time. I wasn't street legal that long. I had the shortest artist career of all time. You know, like here today, gone tonight. But I still get the fever to do it, and I love to go out and make people laugh and make people drink and make people listen to words.
We
that they may
appreciate
not
you
have heard
being here,
somewhere
man.
else. So
Moving
I
on down the
appreciate you giving
line,
us a platform to
Stephen
do it.
Wilson Jr., we appreciate you being here tonight, buddy. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. I will say this. You could sit here and play Mary Had a Little Lamb, but after reading that you boxed Golden Gloves, I'm going to tell you that it's the best song I ever heard, so I don't want to get beat up tonight.
Oh.
Totally kidding, man. I've heard your music, and it's
pacifist.
wonderful. I'm just giving you a hard time, and I can't wait to hear what you're going to play for us here in just a second.
Thank you. Well, it's not going to be about boxing, but it's this business has a good bit of getting knocked down and getting back up again. So I guess whether you like it or not, boxing has been helpful. But honestly, I feel very honored to be up here with these two gentlemen, because honestly, I don't feel like I belong here. I'm kind of like I'm a bit of a new guy in here, and I've learned more than I could ever learn from anybody from both of these gentlemen, and I've barely even known Bobby. I got to write one song with him and learned a book's worth of knowledge, and Jeffrey Steele and I were here written a bazillion songs, and I mean, he just instilled so much wisdom in me, and that I haven't written a bunch of hits. I guess I've written a couple quits, but but this was actually my first. I guess my first cut. I grew up in a small little southern Indiana town. I spent like an hour and a half on a school bus going to school every day, and an hour and a half going home. First kid on, first kid off. 3 hours a day of life's a dance. You learn as you go. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. And Tim McGraw, one time I heard this song by Tim McGraw called Don't Take the Girl. I had a bunch of issues in my family, and I was able to copy and paste my situation into that song, and 3.5 minutes later I was a disaster on a school bus, and I was like, what in the world just happened to me? And that was a song. And that was the first time I was ever intrigued. I didn't know what that was. I watched movies for 90 minutes and never had a reaction like that, and that song got a hold of me. And you know, I used to be a scientist. I quit my science job to write songs, and ran into guys like these, and the first song I ever got cut by an artist was by a guy named Tim
Power
McGraw.
move.
So it was a full circle moment for me. And it's and unfortunately he did
buddy,
not
it's better
release
than a
it, so that's why I call it a quit, not a hit. But
There you go.
but I ain't quitting anytime soon. I'm just joking. And I love Tim for even like honestly thinking of this song to cut, and you never know. But
I love it.
I'm probably going to release it as well if he don't. So, but the song was called "For What It's Worth," and it was like, for what it's worth, it gave me just enough hope to hold on.
That's awesome.
They should call them hangs, not holds, because they keep you hanging on.
Right.
Go, Daddy-O.
You can't put a price on this kind of love. Yeah, the kind of money can't buy. It's the kind that slows down time. Honey, you got that 24-karat smile. Those lips I can't resist, with a kiss I can't deny. Ain't gonna fold, you can count on it. 'Cause my love for you ain't counterfeit. And I tell you, girl, I can give you my heart, all the way to my soul. Honey, you be the diamond and I'll wrap you in gold. I can run through the fire, to the ends of the earth. Gonna give you my all for what it's worth. For what it's worth, yeah. I wouldn't trade all the treasure of all the kings for a life without you, 'cause you're my everything. I'll show you the love that you deserve. I'm at the point of no return. I'm all in. You can mark my word. I can give you my heart, all the way to my soul. Honey, you be the diamond and I'll wrap you in gold. I can run through the fire, to the ends of the earth. Gonna give you my all for what it's worth. For what it's worth. For what it's worth. For what it's worth. I can give you my heart, all the way to my soul. Honey, you be the diamond, and I'll wrap you in gold. I can run through the fire, to the ends of the earth. Gonna give you my all. I can give you my heart, all the way to my soul. Honey, you be the diamond, and I'll wrap you in gold. I can run through the fire, to the ends of the earth. Gonna give you my all for what it's worth. For what it's worth. For what it's worth. For what it's
Come on.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
I feel like I just watched like 4 or 5 of my favorite artists in live.
I know, man.
Oh, my God.
Man, alive.
I'm on.
Stephen
Mr.
Buddy,
Jeffrey
I
Steele, ladies
was
and
gonna say,
gentlemen.
Stephen
Come on.
Buddy, I don't know what a
About that
quit
Steven
is. I've
Wilson.
written a few shits, but I'd take a quit at this point in time if it sounds like that, buddy. My God. Good grief. That's something else, man. That sounded so
I'd
good,
take a
dude.
quit
I can't wait to hear
shits.
what you're going to play the rest of the time.
It's so good.
Right? Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, folks. Good night.
Oh, man. Yeah. That said, we are going to pass it over
Jeffrey
to
Steele.
a guy. I could sit here and read off his accolades as a songwriter. I could talk about the millions upon millions upon millions of album sales and streams and radio plays. But the truth is, how I really want to introduce Jeffrey Steele is the way that I was introduced to him down in Key West years ago at the Songwriters Festival. I had heard of him, I'd heard his songs, but I'd never seen him perform. And the man gets on stage, and as somebody who appreciates a good performer, him and a guitar or him and a piano or whatever it is he has can absolutely rock your face off. I can't wait to hear what Mr. Jeffrey Steele is going to play for us right now. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me here, y'all. Appreciate it. I really do. And with two of my favorite guys right here. Look at this. Pinson.
Well, I'm here, so I'm two by myself.
SWJR over here is my favorite.
I would love for you to
I'm
sing.
just happy to be here. You want me to sing one? Okay. Well, let's just. I'm kind of like the grandpa in here today. I'm the senior, the seasoned. Wait, seasoned. Seasoned. Senior citizen writer.
Senior.
So I'll play you a song that I wrote. I usually start with this, but it's a story I've always told. Is it's a song that I didn't want to write, and I had a music publisher come to me. It's been about 20 some years now since I wrote it, and he wanted me to finish a song that another guy had started, and I was like, man, I don't want to finish somebody's song if it's already like, it's
Sure.
kind of like an old quart of milk or something, And I was like, man, I don't want to get, I'll mess it up. I just don't want, that's not what I do, man. I'm a professional.
Right.
I don't do that, and I was kind of cocky about it, but I just didn't want to do it, and he kept bugging me. He said, man, well, just take a listen to it. I said, all right, I'll take a listen to it. I'll take it home. It was on a cassette tape, and I'll take it home and listen to it. But I don't want to hear any lyrics. I don't want to hear any melody. Just let me hear the music. So he gave me the music, and I took it home, and I popped it in my cassette player, and I played it, and as it starts going, and it had this kind of had take me back feel to it, and I put it on again, and next thing I know, I get a little tear in my eye, and I'm typing all these words, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just typing a bunch of words, and I got finished and didn't have a title. And so I made up a title, and I just kind of sang it into the microphone, and I turned the song in. I said, man, I just wrote about 5,000 words. And I don't know what I got, but don't ever make me do this again. This is a stupid idea. And so he called me a couple weeks later and said, remember that song you didn't want to write? I was like, yeah, man, don't ever make me do that again. He's like, it just got recorded by this brand new group that just got a record deal. I go, what are they called? So they're called Rascal Flatts. I was like, Rascal Flatts, that's the stupidest name I ever heard. And I would know. I was in a band called Boy Howdy back in the 80s. So. Anyway, and I grew up in Hollywood, California. And my life in the early days was between Hollywood and Bakersfield. My existence was Led Zeppelin and Merle Haggard. And this song here was kind of about that time in my life and just meeting my wife and... you know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Hey, baby, is that you? Wow, your hair got so long. Yeah, I love it. I really do. Norma Jean, ain't that the song we'd sang in the car? Driving through town, top down, making the rounds, checking out the bands on Doheny Avenue. Well, life throws you curves, but you learn to swerve. Me, I swung and I missed, and the next thing you know, I'm reminiscing, dreaming old dreams with no wishes, like you would be back again. I wake up and teardrops fall down like rain. I put on that old song we danced to in bed. I head off to my job, guess not much has changed. Punch the clock, head for home, check the phone just in case. Go to bed, dream of you. That's what I'm doing these days. Oh, girl. Oh, yeah. Someone told me after college you ran off to Vegas, married a rodeo cowboy. That ain't the girl I knew. Me, I've been a few places, mostly here and there, once or twice. Still sorting out life, but I'm doing alright. Yeah, it's good to see you too, baby. But Hey girl, you're late, and those planes, they don't wait. But if you ever come back around this sleepy old town, promise me you'll stop and see an old friend. Until then, I wake up and teardrops that fall down like rain. I put on that old song we danced to, and then I head off to my job. Guess not much has changed. Punch the clock, head for home, check the phone just in case. Go to bed, dream of you. That's what I'm doing these days. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, these days, baby. Oh yeah. Ooh. Come on. I wake up and teardrops that fall down like rain. I put on that old song we danced to, and then I head off to my job. Guess not much has changed. Punch the clock, head for home, check the phone just in case. Go to bed, dream of you. That's what I'm doing these days.
Come on.
I mean, I'd say I told you so, but I just told you so. That's
If you're better than that,
Right.
with the guitar.
You done?
that's
been told-
Jeffrey Steele. He's the Dennis Eckersley of songwriting. He can start one. He can come out of the bullpen and finish it out. It sounds like, if you need him to. Either way, but man, we sure do appreciate you coming out here and sharing songs with us.
Great metaphor. Great metaphor.
We
Let's
appreciate
I tell you what, let's pass it back on over to Texas and my pal Bobby Pinson. Bobby, play us another tune, and before you do that, I'd love for you to tell us how you made it from Texas out here to Nashville. What brought you out here, man?
Music, I think God puts you where you want to go, and sometimes gets you to other places on the way, so that once you finally get to where you're going, that you never knew you were always headed to, you're finally glad you're there.
You slid back my way for a while, right?
Yeah, I
You
was
California.
in California, and actually opened for Boy Howdy. So I thought you were showing your age. I'm right there with you. But I was in the land of the cassette tapes too, buddy. And I was in the military. I was out in California for a while, via Texas and Oklahoma, and got out there and just had that pull, just to go to Nashville, and finally got out here and kind of moved to town with a sack full of songs I probably should have left back in the Army, and nobody moves out here as the second best guy. Everybody thinks they're the best, and you have to have that because, on your way to trying to be the best, everybody's going to tell you you're not, and the only guy that's going to like you is you. And that's kind of what I did. I just had to follow my own advice. Everybody always says, what's the best advice for a songwriter? I'm like, do something else. No, I say figure out what you can do. Figure out what you can do other than write songs, or other than what you love to do, other than what you're meant to do. Figure out what else you can do, and don't do that. Because human nature is to thrive at whatever you're doing, and if you're not careful, you'll mess around and wind up thriving at something that you're not meant to do, or that you didn't want to do. So I just kind of stayed with it, and I never had a plan B, and I got out here and just kind of was bad for a while, and next thing you know, I'm just writing people better than me, and then I'm people that are worse than me writing with me, and it's kind of that thing, and I just stayed at it. I guess I just didn't go home, and that's what I tell people: to get here and don't go home, and that's what I did. And people always say, Dave, they always say, how do you become a songwriter? I'm like, that's easy. Just move to town, deliver pizzas, get a record deal, piss your record label off, and poof, you're a songwriter. Ta-da, it's easy. So here I am. Here Jeffrey is. We've all done it, and I wouldn't have it any other way, And they always say, where do songs come from? And this is truth. I'm not making this up. Right when we were doing the count to count in, everybody says, are y'all ready? Y'all ready? And Steven says, well, I'm ready as I'll never be. And I hope you haven't written that song, because while y'all are introducing your long-ass songs, here's a song I wrote while y'all were introducing yours. We need to all write this together. I literally was writing, it was like, as I ready as I'll never be. Far as never letting go goes. No good time to not be you and me. Says I'm ready as I ever be, or ready as I'll never be. I think there's a song there for sure, man.
I'm in.
For sure.
Just put my name on it, Bobby.
That's
I'll
right.
be done. Just I'll text you my address.
Well, this is a song that is one of those kind of things that sometimes they just fall out, and everybody says, what's your favorite song? And I usually say you've never heard it. It's just like these songs have so many hurdles that they have to jump that are not in the real race. And so finally, when you get one that competes, it may not be the one that you love, because we're trying to impress ourselves with things. We do this every day, so our songs have to do so many things to impress us because we kind of get numb to it, and we get to putting puzzle pieces together. And every now and then you'll get a song that does for people that also does the same thing to you. And this is a song that I love, and I love that the world loves it. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. I wrote this with two really good friends of mine, Clint Daniels and Jeff Hyde. And people always say, you want to come here, you want to ride up, you want to write with hit songwriters. I say, man, that stuff goes on every day, but you write songs you love with people you love, and God will decide where they wind up.
Hear, hear.
And this one wound up with Eric Church. Beer don't keep, and love ain't cheap, and trucks don't wreck themselves. Mama ain't a shrink, and daddy ain't a bank, and God ain't a wishing well. Money ain't rich, and everybody sins, and nobody wins in a fight. And sometimes wrong is right. Yeah, some of it you learn the hard way, some of it read on a page, some of it comes from heartbreak, most of it comes with age, and none of it ever comes easy. A bunch of it you maybe can't use. I know I don't probably know what I think I do, but there's something to some of it, something to some. Girls like to laugh and tears don't last, and scared's what praying's for. Stones in the bad, everybody's got a pass, and love's worth living for. When you dance, hold her close, till the brakes go for broke. Be the first to reach for her hand. Yeah, there's some things you don't get to do again. Yeah, some of it you learn the hard way, some of it you read on a page, some of it comes from heartbreak, most of it comes with age, and none of it ever comes easy. A bunch of it you maybe can't use. I know I don't probably know what I think I do. There's something to some of it, yeah, yeah. Something to some, yeah. When you can, take it slow, 'cause time sure won't. What really makes you a man is being true to her till your glass runs out of sand. Yeah, some of it you learn the hard way, some of it you read on a page, some of it comes from heartbreak, most of it comes with age, and none of it ever comes easy. A bunch of it maybe can't use. I know I don't probably know what I think I do. Yeah, I know I don't know this song like I'm supposed to, but I know some of it. I know some of it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Woo!
Golly.
Amen. Amen. Holy cow! Now I gotta play.
If I wasn't sitting down, I'd give you a
I heard
standing
that.
ovation for that.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here trying to figure out what pitcher you are, Bobby, after I gave Dennis Eckersley to... Oh, well, I've been trying
What's
to figure
that,
out what pitcher you are now. I gave out Dennis Eckersley before, and I figured since you took an idea that something that Steven said, and we're just going to walk off with it, we'll call you Gaylord Perry.
Pitcher of tequila.
I was gonna go no one. Right
Hey,
on
there you
that.
go. So just striking out 5,000 plus. I love it, man. That's a great song, Bobby. Thank you so
Stolen
much
rhyme.
for sharing that with
Very
us, brother.
good.
Thank you.
Incredible, humbling to say the least.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Literally, honestly, being here with these two gentlemen is nothing short of it, and I'll take more of it if I can. So, y'all, thank you for being you. My dad raised me. I was raised by him, and like I said, in Southern Indiana, he raised my brother and my sister, and he had some lady woes, and he used to talk to me a lot about his lady troubles, and
Lady woes.
his lady woes, and he couldn't quite let go of one of them, and I was like, Dad, you're holding on to not letting go, and I wrote a very dark but dancey song about it.
Dark
Very
but dancing.
Dark but
I
dancey.
knew a girl like that.
That's like a T-shirt coming. SWJ, dark but dancey. It'll be 2 years yesterday. You hit the lights, walked away, changed the locks, you closed the door for the last time. Seasons change, it hurts the same. These old pictures, they don't fade. Of you and I just getting by back when we were on fire. My friends tell me to let you go, 'cause it's all just ashes and smoke. And I see your face in dreams when I sleep. Waking up cold, sweating, don't make it easy. Time on rewind, don't I know? So I'm holding on to, not letting go, yeah. I'm holding on to, not letting go. I'm holding on to, not letting go, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Think about our first dance, trading kisses, taking chances, Mellencamp kids with an FM Casio. Jack and Diane let it play till those pink houses turn to gray. Now I sit here alone praying you will come home. And I see your face in dreams when I sleep. Waking up cold, sweating, don't make it easy. Time on rewind, don't I know? So I'm holding on to, not letting go, yeah. And I'm holding on to, not letting go. And I'm holding on to, not letting go, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. I catch your perfume still on my pillow. Your name is written in the dust on the window. Time won't rewind, don't I know? So I'm holding on to, not letting go, yeah. I see your face in dreams when I sleep. Waking up cold, sweating, don't make it easy. Time won't rewind, don't I know? I'm holding on to, not letting go. I'm holding on
Dark but damn.
Goodness gracious.
Dark but damn shit.
I was over.
Do another one. I could just sit here and
I was
listen
gonna
to
say,
you.
whatever.
he's
Jeffrey
doggone
Steele
dead near giving me heart
God.
palpitations over here. Listen to that in the best possible way. That's awesome, man. Love the shit out of
Oh,
that.
thank you.
It's
Thank
just
you.
unbelievable.
I got to beat my analogy into the dirt. I believe a scientist turned songwriter's got to be Greg Maddox, right? I mean, that's just what it
Oh.
seems like. He looked like a
Yeah.
professor to me when he was out there pitching. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, win and don't.
That's right.
I'm
No,
sorry.
that was a fantastic, man. That was a fantastic song.
When in Come on.
Oh, me. Jeffrey Steele. As good
Yeah,
a friend
man.
a song ever had right there. How about you pick us another one there, my brother?
Yeah, this is this is one of those songs. You know, when I came to Nashville, I mean, it's like anybody else, you know. Had a big idea, or I thought I did, you know. And I started playing my songs for the record companies, and they'd run me out of the place, and they say those songs are never going to be on the radio.
Right.
You need to listen to radio more, son. And I get really pissed. I ain't found one of them since. I don't know if I even have a job anymore, but I still see you sitting here and me sitting here, right? I don't know. So, well, I wrote this song, and I started playing. They all kind of told me, man, you just song like that's never going to get recorded. And so I wrote this song about 6 years ago, and it is the same feeling I had back in the early 90s when I came to town and I was playing people's song. They were all telling me no, you know. So I said, well, I must be onto something. So I played it literally for every artist and friend and publisher and producer, and they all kind of looked at me like I had three heads and said, you're never going to get that song cut. Nobody wants to hear that. And, you know, that's probably true. But.
Oh, me.
And so by way of... it's too long of a story to tell, but I ended up in North Carolina with Casey Beathard and Eric Church, and we were writing songs. And so on the last day that I was there, I was getting ready to go home, and I actually was getting on the bus with Casey, and I said, hey, man, I said, would Eric ever record a song that he didn't write? And Casey said, oh, if he liked it, he might. I said, has he ever? He goes, I think he's done it once. I said, oh, shucks. I knew the odds weren't going to be great, but I knew that he was the only guy that would take a serious listen to this song. And so I gave it to Casey, and as we're driving back to Nashville, he pulled his curtain open, and he said, damn, son, I'm sending this to Eric right now. And he sent it to Eric. And then the next day when I got home, I had that, you know, when you get a phone call and you don't have the number in your phone, so it says maybe. It says maybe Eric Church. I'm like, well, maybe Eric Church, eh? So it's kind of like Wayne's World, you know. I was like, okay. I was like, hello, maybe Eric Church, you know. And he said, hey, man, I'm cutting your song. I'm cutting it right now. And I just floored me because I you know, you get enough rejection and it will... it'll scare you a little bit, but anyway, here it is. Take me on up to Detroit City. Jails are full and the factory's empty. Mama's crying, young boys down under that red, white, and blue still flying. And drop me off in Baltimore, where every other window got a plywood board, and dreams become drugs and guns, and the only way out is to shoot or run. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one. Get the whole world singing along, y'all. Stick that in your country song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sing about a man coming back from war, 23 going on 54. Lost a friend beside his hand. He's got a baby girl he'll never see again. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one. Get the whole world singing along, y'all. Stick that in your country song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Light the arrow, pull the bow, shoot that fire right through my soul. Hit my pride, my fist up high. Wanna feel the rush, wanna feel the life. Come on, I wanna pound the dash, stop the gas, drive too fast. Rock me hard, stop my heart, and blow the speakers right out of this car. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one, and get the whole world singing along, y'all. Stick that in your country song. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one, 'cause I could sing that all night long. Stick that in your country song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, yeah. Whoa. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And give me one about the teacher who's trying to change a life or two. She'll be rocking out all night with you. Tomorrow she'll be back in that red brick school where the kids are climbing off the walls, and it's scary walking down the halls. She's underpaid, overworked. Come on, shout one out to her. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one, 'cause I can sing that all night long, y'all. Stick that in your country song. Stick that in your country song. Take that one to number one, and get the whole world singing along. Stick that in your country song, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. 'Cause I can sing that all night long. Yeah. Stick that in your country song.
Yeah.
I'd like to punch the dude made me follow you all night long.
I need to lay down after that one.
I'm about ready to go run through a wall after hearing that one, man.
I need a nap.
No, I'm about to go drive too
Right?
fast.
Oh, man.
Oh man.
Well, you
That's
know,
some-
it was one of those days. You know, it was one of those days when I came out of a crappy write. You know, those. You know, it's just a crappy write, and my buddy that I wrote it with, Davis Nash, he came out of a crappy write, and it was about 9 o'clock at night, and one of us said that line and was like, we have to
Totally.
write this.
Got to do it.
Well, thank God for those crappy rights.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I always tell young songwriters, you got to write about 2 or 3 crappy songs before you can dumb yourself down enough to get to a, good one. But that's me. I don't know.
Oh well, that's definitely falls in
you
the
have to write
good
a
one
bunch
category right there. The great one, if you ask me. That's a great song, man. It's inspiring. Makes me want to be better.
So we get people out there
We got
watching
folks
us,
out
right?
there watching. Matter of fact, we've got a couple folks. So we've got Shelly, the Outhouse, and Nina. They're all throwing a little bit of dough in the tip jar. We appreciate that, helping us keep things moving along.
Shelly the
you,
Outhouse? Is that Shelly the Outhouse? Is that her
Shelly and the Outhouse are 2 different people.
mom?
Oh, and the Outhouse.
Shelly's actually a friend of mine from a long time ago, and the Outhouse is here every single week. One maybe the biggest Southern Rounds fan there is.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'd like everybody to get off their couches and stand up for Bobby Pinson
heard
right
that.
now.
Come on.
Actually, you might sit
Make a
down
little
for this one.
noise. Make a
heard
little
that.
noise out there.
That's not. I can't give you a
probably
better
do-
introduction than that, Bobby. I mean, that's just.
I'm telling you, man. Well, they might have to sit down for this one. They've been standing up for
That's what I'm
Jeffrey's last
saying.
one. But, I was talking about favorite songs, and, people say, what's your favorite song? I say, you've never heard it. You try to write songs, to me, that are just something to make you call somebody. At the end of the day, we're just kind of somewhere between background music while somebody's doing the dishes, and then every now and then we'll write a song that makes them quit doing the dishes and call their mama, And for me, every now and then I'll write a song that does the same thing for me. And though I want to write songs for artists, I always say people say, are you famous? And I say, I'm famous to famous people. Nobody else knows who I am. But, the 3 of us, we bring music to the people that bring the music to the people. And the rest of the time we can walk in Walmart and nobody knows who we are. And we can watch over and see people mouthing the words to the Muzak version of our songs, And it's a pretty heartwarming feeling, really. But, every now and then I'll write a song for me, and I lost my dad. And, man, you just can't prepare for that. You can talk to people that have lost ones, and you can tell yourself love them while they're here, and that's all I know to do. But when I lost my dad, my world changed. It split my life in 2. It was basically everything that happened before I lost him and everything that's happened after. And I think anytime you lose anyone of any nature, it just doesn't mean that much to you. That happens, and I wrote this song. My dad was this old West Texas cowboy football coach, and it was he wasn't hard to love. He was just you just had to love him for what he was and what he wasn't. And he's one of those guys that, if he said it, he meant it, and good or bad, you had to take it for what it was. And he loved me with all his heart, but sometimes it felt like it was just tough love. And as I grew up, it kind of grew away and just chasing a dream, and next thing you know, he's gone. And not to bring anybody down, but I just want to play this for myself, to be honest with you. And I just lost him about a year ago, and I'll just send this out to anybody that needs it. It's brand new, and I've sang the song one time, and I was singing it the other day. I wanted to sing it out and realized I didn't have a last verse, and I was up there on a round, sitting on the edge of the stage, kind of like I am now on the end, and of course it was a little different because there were people behind me, so they had to look at my butt crack for 45 minutes. This is kind of cool. Y'all dodged that bullet out there in online land, but in the interwebs. But it's not that I even have to moon anymore. I just have to irresponsibly lean. But it's not that I've gotten fat. I just swell up when I get nervous. But I realized I was nervous. But anyway, I had to write this song. I wrote this verse while the guy before me was singing his song, and I kind of completed this song, and I'm gonna play it for me. I hope y'all like it. It's for my dad. Can't put my finger on the day everything started to change, but I can still see my baby face in the bathroom mirror, plain as yesterday, standing there halfway in between a man and a boy about 13, a razor in my hand and some barber salt cream and a puddle in the sink. I still hear Daddy say, let's take our time, we ain't in no hurry, just nice and slow, 'cause you won't get this day back. I'm right here ain't no need to worry. As he wiped my face with love and a warm wash rag. Said, look at that, it ain't a half bad shave. Scroll. Fast forward a bunch of football games, a few truck wrecks, and a couple heartbreaks. I'm standing there with my old son, as old as my dad when I was that young, watching a little boy disappear, smiling proud and fighting back tears like he did then when we were here. And I heard me hear him say, let's take our time, we ain't in no hurry. Just nice and slow, 'cause you won't get this day back. Said, I'm right here, there ain't no need to worry. And I wiped his face with love and a warm wash rag. Said, look at that, it ain't a half bad shave. Fast forward a bunch of towns and a wife and most of the rest of my daddy's life in a hospital bed wasting away. He looked at me, pointed to his face. Razor sitting on a slide out tray. I picked it up like yesterday. He said, let's take our time, we ain't in no hurry. Just nice and slow, 'cause you won't get this day back. Said, I'm right here, ain't no need to worry. And I wiped his face with love and a warm wash rag. Said, look at that, it ain't a half bad shame. Yeah, the last thing my dad heard me say, look at that, it ain't a half bad shade.
Woo, that's pretty good, man.
Aren't y'all glad you didn't stand up?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Got a little dusty over here in Studio B on that one. I'm not gonna lie. Golly, man.
It's all right. I'll sing a song about shitting my pants in a minute.
Is that the humidity?
Oh man.
I love they said, hey man, the mics are going to be live the whole time. You got to watch what you say. I'm like, I don't even want to hear what I say, much less see it.
Well, I'll say this. I haven't been around Bobby a little bit. He'll play it down a little bit, and he has some hilarious songs and great stories. But man, you're all heart, and it shows on that one, man. That's something else, man. That touched me right there. I appreciate you sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I don't even know how to intro next. We're just going to have to pass it on.
Yeah, I'd let the spirit do it.
I feel like I'm letting you down, Steven. I'm sorry, but that one kind of got to me.
No, you're letting me up.
But you do have to at some point tell us how you made it from scientist to songwriter. I am very curious to find out about that.
Is it not logical?
It's a natural
Buddy,
progression.
if it's logical, you're barking up the wrong tree asking me about it, I promise you. Yeah. There ain't a whole lot of logic in anything I've ever done.
Well, there shouldn't be if you're going to do it right. And I first of all, I just want to say, Bobby, that was a beautiful song.
Thanks, man.
I lost my dad 2 years ago, and he, like I mentioned, he raised us, and he was my everything. And like you mentioned, there was the day before him, and there was the day after him, and that was 2 lives. And I'm just living the other one now. And so I'm really sorry to hear about your dad. And
You're just full of songs, man. I just listen to you talking about songs all day.
well, I think you hang around songwriters enough. You just kind of start maybe just speaking in a weird way. It just especially these kinds of geniuses. And but I like I said, I grew up in a farm town, and my dad worked on cars and was a boxer, and he knocked dents into people and knocked dents out of cars, and and he taught me to fight at a very young age. It was my first show I ever put on, was like a boxing match. That was like his whole thing, was put on a good show for these people. And I was extremely shy as a kid, and like had terrible like anxiety being around people, and so that was like my power, gave me my power, and but I was also terribly nerdy, like very like problematically nerdy. My dad was worried, so he went and got me a guitar when I was about 16, 17 years old, just to be like, dude, break up the biology a little bit. Come on, man. Like, so I was a real book nerd, and like I loved biology. I was a naturalist. I was super into like nature and all that stuff and how it all worked. And so science got me out of my little hometown, and it kept me out of there because I knew it would keep me out of. So I went to school and got a degree in microbiology and chemistry, and worked as a food scientist and a microbiologist for quite some time, and wrote songs while I was in the lab. A lot of people think that, you know, if you're a scientist, you can't be creative, and there's a lot of creatives that aren't very creative.
We're scientists.
Yeah, so like, but anyway, like, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of analysis and creativity, and there's a lot of creativity in science, and you can do both. And I worked as a scientist for quite some time until I, like, basically what Bobby said, like the God voice just won't let you go. Like you just kept pestering me to do that, and it was, and you just got to go all in. You go into, and you just go, and that's pretty much the progression. I hung up my lab coat about, 5 or 6 years, 7 years ago, and went and bartended, did everything I could to make ends meet while I, before I could figure out a way to make a living writing songs. I wrote with everybody and until I met a guy named Chris Oglesby at BMG, and he changed my life. And but yeah, that's pretty much the story. Scientist, the songwriter, and
awesome.
And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely.
But I'm still just trying to forget about that song Bobby wrote, so I don't start crying. Just trying to wipe my memory, like do the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind thing. Like, just come on, try to go back in there and chisel it out. But I'm gonna play something super dark. I grew up in a very no, this is just dark. No danciness to it at all whatsoever. But yeah, I grew up in a kind of a Nazarene, very Pentecostal influenced community, and I saw a lot of crazy stuff for 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And I used to sneak out and go to keggers on Saturdays, and literally the Sunday morning service was crazier than the kegger that I was literally at like 6 hours before the service. I mean, I was there. Like, you see demon exorcisms and all kinds of craziness, and people doing things that you'd just never think you'd ever see someone do, especially someone you grew up with. You'd run into them at like the grocery store a couple hours after you saw a demon get cast out of them, and you try to just make small talk. Like, how you doing, man? Like, what are you talking?
Anything interesting happened lately?
How you feeling? Like, did they get it all out? Like, is it still there? Like, do you know you spoke Hebrew? Is that like a new? Is that a new? Dude, is that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, it was this kind of. I didn't know that was abnormal until I got to college.
Yeah, man.
And someone told me, I was like, dude, that's totally not a normal thing to see. But I felt like I saw the devil more than I saw God growing up. And I got woke up by this song one night in the middle of the night. And I wrote it down, and it pissed my wife off, and I went back to bed. And it took me like 6 months to actually put it to music. I wrote it down pretty much verbatim, and then had to walk away from it. It's called The Devil.
Oh, it's my favorite song of yours.
Oh.
It's my favorite
Oh,
one.
no. Oh, don't.
You heard this one? My favorite song. It's my favorite song. It's my favorite song, y'all.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you. Listen to that shit.
No pressure.
No. I meant the song he played.
Hey, I knew what you meant.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's true story. Lord help me.
Amen.
Hand on the Bible eyes, maggots turn to flies. Whole world's gone to hell. Mama's back in jail. You just can't get enough. I think we've had too much. Gunfire in the schools, melt down the golden rule. Wear your promise ring. Preacher's got a thing for me. You keep it to yourself. The whole world's gone to hell. A snake will crawl the earth to shed its skin, to make more room for the poison. And the filthy rich will rob you clean until you raise your voices. And the louder one above the rest will call himself a rebel. There's a one you know and there's a one you don't. But they're still both the devil. Work hard for the man, spare the rod, hell, use your hands. Yeah, the hate'll break you down. You're the toughest guy in town. Oh, say, can you see the nearest pharmacy? Yeah, a needle to the vein might be the thing that'll kill the pain. Go trade away your soul. You swear the world will never know that you were even here. How he whispers in your ear. The snake will crawl the earth to shed its skin, to make more room for the poison. And the filthy rich will rob you clean until you raise your voices. And the louder one above the rest will call himself a rebel. There's a one you know and there's a one you don't. They're still both the devil. Yes, I lay me down. Now go on, get behind me now. The snake will crawl the earth to shed its skin, to make more room for the poison. And the filthy rich will rob you clean until you raise your voices. And the louder one above the rest will call himself a rebel. There's a one you know and there's a one you don't. But they're still both the devil.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
What a song.
Oh, thank you.
What a song.
I feel like there's sometimes you hear a song and you're like, yeah, he's the only person that could have written that song. And I don't know you very well at all, Stephen, but I feel like just listen to that. You're the only one that could have written that song.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was a gift. I will say it's not even. I don't even take credit for it. I don't know. It was just handed.
Well, if you don't want to take credit for it,
All I
I'll
can
take
do is
credit
play
for
it.
it. You know.
Well, I'm the only one that you can apply a copyright to. Let's just go back to that. I'll take that back. My manager would probably be very pissed off that I said that publicly. But you know, but for real though, it's just.
Well, that's
it was a
absolutely
gift, and that's all I
fantastic,
can
man.
say.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I've got two things. One statement for Mr. Jeffrey Steele. First off, the story you
Yes, sir.
told before
Yes, sir.
that last song, talking about playing your songs for everybody and telling you they'd never be on the radio, and you don't. Thank you for that, because I needed to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I think
Definitely
it's
needed to hear
important.
that.
I think it's important
Yeah.
for everybody to know that I always like to say that whatever that stupid thing is about yourself, the idiosyncrasy or the failure you think you have, and the the dumb thing and the quirky
Yeah.
thing, that's what $100 million looks
sure.
like.
Right.
I hear you, man.
And I think the trouble with a lot of people is they forget that that's what makes you love what you do, and you get in a business where you got to kind of fall in line. And I always had a hard time falling in line, and I love that about myself. It's the one thing I love about myself. I would I've got like scars in my foot from all the bullet holes shooting myself in the foot.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And I say that I truthfully mean that. Like you have to really embrace those things that you may hate about yourself, because all of us, we're songwriters. I mean, we're so freaking insecure about everything, and everybody's judging us and throwing rocks at us.
Who's saying we're insecure? Who's saying?
Well, and I'm not.
I didn't say. He
that.
said it. I didn't say anything. No, I said
don't
I
think
love
I'm
your.
insecure.
I
Do
said
y'all
I
think I'm
love all your
insecure?
music. He's the one that said it.
Well,
I'm secure, and
I'll say this. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth at all, but in this town, it seems like where everybody's trying to figure out how to be like everybody else. If you've got something different, man, that's it can sometimes feel like a burden, but man, that's the whole thing to me.
And different is your ticket. That's your ticket, and that's what people want to hear, man.
Totally.
They don't want to hear. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that because they're obviously buying, But you know what? The point I'm trying to make, and I'll segue into this next thing by saying when I wrote this song, it's the same thing. I wrote this song in the late '90s, man, and I turned it in. I'll never forget. First person that heard it said, "Man, nobody wants to hear a 4.5-minute ballad."
You're definitely reading my mail now.
About somebody that you lost in your life. So I'm kind of tripping on these guys' themes here and doing one here too. But so I would go out to the club, with my boys and my band, and I'd play this song, and all the girls would go crazy, and they'd have tears in their eyes. Oh my God, Jeff, I love that song. I just lost somebody, and blah, blah, blah. And that song means, can you play it again? Because you want to hear it again? The guy at the record company hates this frickin' song. But the girls in the club love the song. Well, there's a song title. There's something to write about. But that's how I became a businessman in the music business, by listening to the audience. Who's right, the record company or the girls? You tell me, right? And so this song, made the rounds for a couple of years, and I'll try not to hang on to this too long, but it gets pretty lengthy. But it got recorded in 2001 by an artist named Mark Wills, and I was real grateful because everybody heard it, and they told me that it was 4 minutes long, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and you can't get it on the radio. It's a ballad. Nobody wants to hear a ballad. But Mark loved it, so he's like, man, it's going to go on my new album. I was like, well, shit, that might get me a jet ski. Okay, thanks. Just kidding. Kidding about the jet ski. Okay, so anyway, he calls me.
Not a jet, but a jet ski.
Jet ski. You got to make a compromise. Jet ski. But so he calls me. He calls me sometime later, and he said, "Oh, Jeff, man, I'm so grateful for you, man. This is gonna be my first single off my new album." And I'm like, no, blah 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 blah, because when you're a songwriter, somebody tells you it's gonna be a single, and it's not really officially a single yet, and you haven't heard it on the radio, it's completely jinxes it. So I was plugging my ears, going, no, don't say it's gonna be a single. And sure enough, he lost his record deal, and the song never came out. And I'm not saying that the jinx thing is true, but it happened to me many times. So a few years went by, and I kept writing my songs, and I'd play this one around, and I hear the same thing all the time. Yeah, it's a neat song, but it's just too long and too depressing. So Faith Hill heard it and called up and said she loved it, and she's going to put it on her new album. I'm like, oh, yeah, finally. It took about 4 or 5 years, but Faith Hill's going to sing my sad song. And that same year, Gretchen Wilson came out with Redneck Woman, and all of a sudden, Faith decided she wasn't going to sing a sad love song. And she dropped my song off the album and got something else. So you can see where the story's going. It's going straight down, And then a couple of years after that, I got a call from a buddy of mine out in L.A. who's working with Aerosmith. And he said, Steven looking for a big ballad to sing. You got any song? I said, oh, man, I got this song. It's ballad. And so I sent it to him and called back the next day. I said, did Steven hear my song? He goes, yeah, he heard it. I said, what do you think? He said, he thought it was the most depressing song he ever heard. So I get, you got to get, and that's another thing as a songwriter, you got to let these things go, man. And if I hadn't been hung up on that, it would have drove me to, well, it did drive me to drink actually. But you know what I'm saying, right? So I just kind of let it go. I just kept writing my songs. And then I got a call a couple of years later. So it's like 9 years after I wrote the song, I got a call from a producer who said, "You still got that sad song?" I said, "Yeah, I got it on a CD now." And or MP3, I think it's on now even. And anyway, he goes, "Well, I'm gonna produce this new album for Rascal Flatts." I go, "Oh, there's that name again, And they recorded it. And that little song that everybody said was depressing and sad and would never get on the radio was a song of the year that year on the radio. So if you're a songwriter, man, write it from your heart is all I can say to that. And I'll shut my mouth now.
Amen.
I can take the rain on the roof of this empty house. That don't bother me. I can take a few tears now and then and just let them out. I'm not afraid to cry every once in a while, even though going on with you gone still upsets me. There are days every now and again I pretend I'm okay, but that's not what gets me. What hurts the most was being so close and having so much to say, and watching you walk away and never knowing what could have been, and not seeing that loving you is what I was trying to do. Yeah. It's hard to deal with the pain of losing you everywhere I go, but I'm doing it. Hard to force that smile when I see our own friends and I'm alone. Still harder getting up, getting dressed, living with this regret. But I know if I could do it over, I would trade, give away all the words that I saved in my heart that I left unspoken. What hurts the most was being so close and having so much to say, and watching you walk away and never knowing what could have been, and not seeing that loving you is what I was trying to do, yeah. Oh, I can take the rain on the roof of this empty house. That don't bother me. I could take a few tears now and then and just let them out. And I'm not not afraid to cry every once in a while, even though going on with you gone still upsets me. And there are days every now and again I pretend I'm okay, but that's not what gets me. What hurts the most was being so close and having so much to say, and watching you walk away and never knowing what could have been, and not seeing that loving you is what I was trying to do. That's what I was trying to do. What hurts the most was having so much to say and watching you walk away. Woo!
I mean, when the girls love it, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right? I mean, the girls say yeah. It's yeah.
That's right.
Man.
That's right, man.
What about when the boys?
I hear that.
I'm not good.
I'll say this to anybody
But you know-
who's driving next to me on the way home when I'm singing at the top of my lungs just because I just sit and listen to Jeffrey Steele for a little while, because you make me want to just go out and just caterwaul it out there, dude. And I'm loud as hell, but man, I'm getting ready to take it up a couple of notches on the way home, man. That was great. That sounded so good, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Bobby, I just got a message from my wife. Said the entire time she was putting our oldest child to bed, she was crying over your last song, man.
Oh man.
See what you did? See what you did?
See,
I mean, cut right to...
gotta listen.
I'm
to the
telling you,
girls.
man, got to listen to the girls. I heard that.
Yeah.
Leave it to me to make my buddy's wife cry.
Well, when y'all want to write,
anywhere.
gotta listen to the girls. I want in on that one, okay?
Right, no doubt. How about
Let's
now?
do it.
Well, tell her thank you, or I'll tell her thank you, and that's what it's about, you know. We write these songs, and some of them are on the lighter side, and you kind of write your crappy songs to support your good
Right.
song habit, you know. And then every now and then you write one for yourself, and it affects other people, and again, that's what it's about, and that's about the best thing you could say to me is, you know. This isn't a great gauge because you can hear a pin drop in here, but when you're playing live for a crowd and you know, just all the air just kind of goes out and they're just hanging on your lyric, that's about the best thing you could do for a songwriter, you know, that and write them a check for $1 million. But you know, the second
I've had
best
one of
thing
those things
you
happen
can
so
do is
far,
write them a
so.
check. But you know what I mean. It's the music business pays you in so many different ways, and it costs you in a bunch of ways. But it's always given me more than it's taken away, and to hear her say that, you know, coming from an honest place, I appreciate that. So thank you very much, and that really is why I took this job, you know, and that and the girls.
Well, I love you.
You know,
I want you to play one more because I think we're gonna make this one the last round of the night, guys. But yeah, Bobby, tell us about this one, and let's take it on home, bud.
Well, I was out on a tractor on my farm, and I got a call from a guy named Jared Mullins. And Jared was in a co-write with Drew Parker, who's a great artist, new artist coming up, and great singer, and guy that was producer, doing some tracks and some words with him, Ben Goldsmith, and they were working on a song, and they had kind of idea down the road. And he said, "Man, would you mind if I just sent? I've never written with any of them." And he's like, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm on a tractor." And he said, well, "Would you mind if I sent you something?" I said, "Yeah, it might take me a minute to get off this tractor, you know, to listen to it. I'm trying to finish before dark." He said, "Well, would you just listen?" So he sent it to me, and I listened to it, and I could hear where they were kind of going, and they kind of had part of it down the road, and they had this first couple of lines of this song going, and it kind of got me. I was like, all right, I'm in. And I was kind of working on my own little piece of it, you know, and I called him back and said, "This is what I think, and I think this part's going, and what if we did this and changed a few little phrases and things?" And I went in there, and And it took me 45 minutes to get there. And time we got there, that song was kind of sitting there ready to go. And I had said, you hear yourself say things all the time. Just like today, we've heard things that we think might go in a song. You just heard, listen to the girls, and you hear yourself say things all the time that are an idea. And I heard, when I heard him say, ready as I'll never be. One time I was introducing a song, I'm talking years ago, I was on stage opening for Travis Tritt in Dallas, Texas. It was back when I was skinny with muscles, doing an artist career, and I've eaten that guy, but, he tastes like bacon and gravy and Crown. But anyway, it tastes better than I look, trust me. And I remember hearing myself talk about, where I grew up, and I said, where I grew up, Dad was boss and Christ was king. And when I said that, I was like, golly, that sounds like a song. And it took me, 15 years to finally get that in a song. And we finally got it in a song and got the song cut by literally one of my favorite people. And like I say, you write songs that you love with people you love, and you also, it's just a bonus when you get them cut by somebody you love. And Dierks Bentley's such a class act, Eric's a class act, and just really good stewards of good songs. They love good songs, and you love it when your songs get placed with them. And Jake Owen is certainly no exception. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and he's never changed since the day I've met him. Just a kind soul, and glad to have some success with him. And this is a song called Homemade, so I'll send this out to everybody that comes from this place. Yeah, where I grew up, getting dressed up means button down shirt, good pair of jeans. Wasn't Sunday supper without collard greens. Dad was boss and Christ was king. Friday night was living for them lights to come on. Turn the Miller lights when we turn 21. There's things about me that I can't change. Always gonna be the man. Homemade, homemade, we love a dirt road. Homemade, me crafts, ice cold. Homemade, sweet tea, only mama knows how to make. Homemade, homemade, love a small town. Homemade, me want to settle down in a homemade for the two of us. Everything I love is homemade. Yeah, my pickup lines didn't seem to work. Guess my pickup truck must have got to her. Windows down, singing everywhere to that George Strait mixtape. It was homemade, homemade, we love a dirt road. Homemade, me crafts, ice cold. Homemade, sweet tea, only mama knows how to make. Homemade, homemade, we love a small town. Homemade, me settle down in a homemade for the two of us. Everything I love is homemade. Yeah. Homemade. Yeah. Hey, what we got you can't get from a store. Hey, homemade, sweet tea, only mama knows how to make. Homemade, homemade, we love a small town. Homemade, me want to settle down in a homemade for the two of us. Everything I love is homemade, 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 homemade.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bobby Pinson, ladies and gentlemen. Man, thank you, man. Thank you so much for being here, brother. I always love getting to hang out with you and getting to listen to you. Looking forward to doing that a little bit more next week, bud.
Yes, sir.
Stephen Wilson Jr., I'd love for you to play us one more incredible song, just like all the rest of them you've done, before we let you off the hook tonight.
You're being too kind to me, sir. I don't deserve it. But, well, I'll do my damnedest.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all over here. I say that with the utmost confidence.
All right. Well, that was a beautiful song, Bobby. I love that song. By the way, I'm so thrilled when I first heard it. I was like, yeah, damn it. It's such a great song. Damn it. But also great people write great songs. Congratulations, damn it. That should be like Nashville in a nutshell. Congratulations, damn
Put
it.
that on a t-shirt.
Congratulations, damn it. Wanna write something out?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. All right, let's see what am I gonna do? Well, I kissed a girl for the first time when I was a teenager, not just recently. But I was a teenager out at a roller skating rink, and I met this girl, and we skated around in a couple circles and held hands. For some reason, she wanted to do that with me. Like I said, I never talked to anybody. Like I had no game at all whatsoever, and wasn't looking to find any. To be honest, it was just sad. And my friends, like they're like, dude, Wilson, that's what everybody goes by, their last names in my town. And they're like, dude, you gotta kiss her. And I was like, what do you mean I gotta kiss her? I don't even know her. Like, I just met her tonight. He's like, dude, you gotta kiss her, and like now. Like, she's outside waiting on you to kiss her. Her mom's already here to pick her up, and she's waiting on you. And I'm like right in this moment. Like, and so it was a freezing January night. I walk outside, and she's standing there in front of like a station wagon that's running, with her mom inside and all her siblings just looking at me through like a fogged up frosty window, and all my friends' faces are smashed up against the glass of the roller rink looking at me. I'm just like, I got a full audience, and I walk up to her and I just look at her, and I basically just smash my face against her face. Like, it's a terrible like clash of the teeth. And I'm pretty sure I had a bloody lip. And she broke up with me on a cordless phone like 2 hours after that. And I remember sitting in a recliner, answering the cordless phone, like pulling the antenna out like super long and being like, hello? And she was like, Steven, this is, I won't say her name for privacy purposes. And she's like, I just don't think this is going to work out. And I was like, okay, you're probably right. Yeah, but that was my first heartbreak. At first, I was just like, I think I'm in love, but I don't know what love is. I definitely wasn't in love. But I started listening to grunge music immediately because of that terrible kiss. I just said well, I don't know what to do. And so I started listening, it was all Life's a Dance up to that point. And, Ain't No Cure for the Summertime Blues, and all day long. And so I found this guy named Kurt Cobain, wrote this band Nirvana, and I heard this song of his, and he took my pain away with a song called All Apologies. Amen. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I started listening to music so intensely. I found out that music meant more to me than pretty much anything else at that point. So I have that terrible kiss to thank. And I wrote a song called Year to Be Young, 1994. And 'cause that was a hell of a year to be young. And if you do the streaming thing, this is out on the streamers.
Yes, sir.
All platforms. I must admit I felt the flame. Kurt Cobain, a Fender Mustang. MTV brought me up. This is your brain on drugs. Now I won't forget that first girlfriend. Got me into Boys to Men. I grew up a lot that year. My sweatshirt said no fear. My life was a stereo, and it was everything. First one in line for the last dance with Mary Jane. Hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. 1994. Tell Mom, see you later. Don't be blowing up my pager. When the show's over, I'll come on. When that is, I don't know. Teen spirit in the air for y'all on cell phone. Study hall passing notes. Yes, no, or I don't care. When my life was a stereo and it was everything, soundtrack, first kiss, out at the roller rink, hands held, two hearts falling on a hardwood floor. 1994, 1994. Think you know it all and you don't know any better. Tell yourself you're gonna live forever. Fire's burning and I'm still holding the door. From 1994, here to be, 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 here to be. My life was a stereo, and it was everything. Soundtrack takes me back through all those memories. Hiding in my headphones, laying on the bedroom floor. It takes me back to the days when a song was worth so much more. 1994, 1994, 1994.
Wow. I mean, here's a thought that won't get out of anybody's head anytime soon, but if Bruce Springsteen and Tony Lane had a baby, not that I condone that sort of thing, but he's sitting over
I was
there
sitting
with
there
a
thinking,
dial.
like, I heard Bruce Springsteen in that last, like, one of those last couple of lines, man. I was thinking the exact same thing. No shit.
And I tell you what, not to cut you off, man, but, you know, I'm writing a book. It's a long story here. I'll make it quick, but I'm writing a book, and I had this idea the other day that even though it's prose, I'm actually going to sing some of these stories that are in this book, and they won't rhyme. It'll be like singing prose, and it's a project. It's called The Novel, the songbook. It's called The Novel, and you're going to play guitar on it for me, man. You're going to play guitar. I'm just going to start kind of singing these prose, and you're going to play guitar. So you now have a job you didn't want.
Say
so.
when, say when.
That's what you get for taking the lab coat off. But
I'll
no,
do it.
man, what a great guitar player. I could sit here and listen
Fantastic.
to you all day, man.
That's-
So,
Oh man,
That's
Thank you.
Stephen Wilson Jr. once again making me feel like I'm 13 back in 1994. I love that, man. That was great. I was 13 in 1994. You took me right back.
Oh well, I do.
You're just
that.
bragging now. I was
You were writing what hurts the most, just
Yeah,
making us all look
right.
stupid.
I was like 30. How much were you? I was like 30 and change. My daughter was telling me about Kurt Cobain. I needed to get the Kurt Cobain record. I'm like, Kurt who?
right.
And that's my second favorite song.
Wow.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Come on now.
The third favorite is all the rest of the ones we wrote.
Right?
Right.
Old song.
Well, y'all pay attention because Stephen was telling me before we started he's got music coming out this year, so I know that I'm going to be checking
Yeah,
that out
man.
and getting ready for it.
You check it out. 'cause
Everybody
it's
out there
great.
listening,
There's
make
gonna
sure
be a
you
lot-
check it out too.
Well, thank you. There's going to be quite a few Jeffrey Steele songs.
Can't go wrong with
gosh.
recorded it.
Hey,
thanks a
Jeffrey,
lot,
tell me real quickly before you play your last song.
And some Pinson ones.
Tell
sir.
me what it's like when somebody cuts one of your song and doesn't sing it as well as you do. What's that like? How's that feel?
Man,
I love listening to you sing, dude. I always have. Every time I hear you, man, it stops me.
Thank you.
And I fancy myself a decent singer as well, but man, you stop me in my tracks every time.
First of all artists sing all of our songs better than we ever could. So you got that wrong.
I didn't say it. Well,
we're so grateful they sing it so much better.
I've always honestly, I've always been just really grateful. Especially when you know the whole deal. We're all trying to get our heart out there and have everybody hear it, and then a lot of us are trying to buy diapers too, and you walk that line, you walk that fine line, and so I was always just really grateful. I remember a great story. I wrote this song back in the day called "Unbelievable" for a group called Diamond Rio, and
you did.
I remember Big Al Anderson called me up, and he goes, they ruined our song. I said, what do you mean, man? He goes, they took all the life out of it. They ruined it. I said, well, they're just interpreting it. He goes, they're not doing that. They ruined it. And then as it kind of went up the chart, he called me up and he goes, man, that Jimmy Olander's a badass guitar player.
He's not lying.
I always gave him shit for that. I said, remember that time? He's like, shut up. But I've always, I appreciate that I really appreciate that. I love doing what I do, and I just love doing what I do, and anybody that grabs a song, man, I'm as grateful as a guy can be. I tell you, because we're all doing this, and we're just we don't know what the hell we're doing.
That's the secret. Right? I feel like it.
I think it is a secret, right? We don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just trying to do it good, and lying on the carpet with the headphones on. That has always been what I love about that song. Not only the time capsule that got captured in that song, dude, but like to me, that was my gauge. And I'm a 60-year-old man now, and I still gauge everything by when I got my headphones on and I'm laying on the floor. I want to think like that as a songwriter still. I want to think that way, and I want to be that kid that was listening to Led Zeppelin back in the day with my headphones on, or just some cool Steely Dan record, or you
don't look 60. You don't look a day over 50 now.
And a half.
But it's because you're extremely immature. That's what it is.
But that's and you look at we got all our peers, and like Bob DePiro. I always say Bob. He was one of those guys that he was always so sweet to me, and as I was coming up, and he's like a 17-year-old kid, and you're in his garage band when you're writing with Bob, and he's still that guy, and I think that's the secret of what we do. It's my dad always said the meaning of success is doing something that lets you drive the other way in traffic.
There you go.
If there's a traffic jam, and you're going the other way, you're doing all right.
Totally.
That's awesome.
And so I've always tried to. I don't know how I got there from whatever. What was your question?
I was kind of being an asshole about how good of a singer you are.
No.
I think,
but I'm grateful.
No,
I'm just grateful.
Well, we're grateful,
and they're doing what they do. They're doing what they do. And here's just kind of I'll end with this just because you got me thinking about it. But I wrote a song years back from Montgomery Gentry called "My Town," and it was a big hit for them. And so after the song was a hit, they called me up and they said, "Jeff, we want you to produce the new album for Montgomery Gentry." I'm like, wow, okay. And I said, I'd love to do it. They said, well, you got any songs? And I said, well, what are the guys looking for this next record? What are we trying to get to, And I just never forget the record company. The girl said to me, well, we need like a My Town Part 2. And I figured out why I got the gig. And, and I really got pissed off. I was like, that's like Jaws 2, like... there's going to be no script, and there's going to be all blood and guts, and there's not going to be any money, and you can't get the actors to do it, and it's going to just go straight to rental. and no one's ever going to see it. And I was thinking that, and that made me say to her, I'm on the phone with her, I said, man, I want to write something I can be proud of. And I caught myself saying that, and I said, I got to go. And I hung up the phone, and I wrote this song. And there you go. Should probably get closer to the mic here, huh? Well, there's a story that my daddy tells religiously, like clockwork every time he sees an opening in a conversation about the way things used to be. Well, I'd just roll my eyes and make a beeline for the door, but I'd always end up starry-eyed, cross-legged on the floor, hanging on to every word. Man, the things I heard. It was harder times and longer days, 5 miles to school uphill both ways. We were cane switch raised and dirt floor poor. Of course, that was back before the war. Yeah, your uncle and I, we made quite a pair, flying F-15s through hostile air. When he went down, they missed me by a hair. And then I'd always stop right there and he'd say, that's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's a chin held high as a tear falls down, a gut sucked in, a chest stuck out like a small town flag flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of. Whoa, yeah. A son graduating college, well, that was Mama's dream. But I was on my way to anywhere else when I turned 18. 'Cause when you got a fast car, man, you think you got everything. But I learned quick those GTOs don't run on faith. And I ended up broken down in some town north of LA, working maximum hours for a minimum wage. I fell in love, next thing I know, the babies came and the car got sold. I sure do miss that old hot rod, but you sure save gas in these foreign jobs. Dad, I wonder if I ever let you down, or if you were ashamed how I turned out. But he lowered his voice, and then he raised his brow. And he'd always raise his brow. See, let me tell you right now, that's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. You don't need to make a million. Be thankful to be working if you're doing what you're able to put food there on the table and provide it for that family that you love, son. That's something to be proud of. And if all you ever really do is the best you can, you did it, man. 'Cause that's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's a chin held high as a tear falls down, a gut sucked in, chest stuck out like a small town flag flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. That's something to be proud of. Oh, yeah. Something to be proud of.
Man. An awful lot for these gentlemen here tonight to be proud of, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys tuning
Thank
into
you.
Southern Rounds. Next week, we got Lauren Jenkins, David Tolliver, and Will Nance. I hope you guys will come back and check that out. For Bobby Pinson, for Jeffrey, for Steven, for everybody else here, my name is Dave Kennedy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next
Thank you,
week.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Sun rising on